Greetings to all fellow seniors and cultivators. There's this incredible old proverb that really gets to the heart of our practice. It says, "Heaven's rain is vast, but it does not moisten rootless grass." So, what does that mean for us? It means that divine grace, it's everywhere. It's abundant, like rain falling for everyone. But, and this is the key part, to actually soak up that nourishment, we have to have our own foundation. We need to grow a root. And that really brings us to a question I think we've all asked ourselves at some point, right? We all hear the same teachings, we study the same scriptures, but our paths look so different. How is it that some people just seem to flourish and grow spiritually while others feel, well, stuck? The answer, just like that proverb hinted, it all comes down to the root. It's about whether we've built that inner foundation needed to really absorb the wisdom that's being offered. So, okay. What is this all-important root we keep talking about? Well, the sages have a name for it, the Bodhi Mind. This, right here, is the absolute foundation of our entire spiritual journey. It's that essential, powerful resolve that we have to awaken inside ourselves if we're serious about growing. So the Bodhi Mind, or Bodhi-Shin, is basically the awakened mind, but it's so much more than just a passing thought. Think of it as this deep, unshakable commitment to reach supreme enlightenment. And here's the most important part. It's not just for our own benefit, but for the benefit of every single being. Now, its full Sanskrit name is a mouthful, but it's crucial. Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. And believe it or not, that name holds the secret to unlocking its true power. All right, let's really dive into this, because that big Sanskrit name, it's not just some fancy label. It's actually a formula. Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi literally breaks down into 3 essential pillars that together make up the complete Bodhi mind. Okay, here they are. First, you have Anuttara, which means unsurpassed. This is all about having the highest possible ambition, that firm resolve to return to our true source, and to never ever settle for anything less. Then comes Samyak, which means equal. This is the part about developing an egoless mind, a mind that sees every single being, every single thing as fundamentally equal. It's what dissolves all that division. And finally, there's Sambodhi, or right awakening. This is the commitment to pursuing true, ultimate wisdom, not just chasing after worldly rewards or temporary blessings. Now, pay close attention to this because it's so important. This shows us what happens when our resolve isn't complete. See, if you're missing that unsurpassed mind, what happens? You get complacent. You give up way too easily. And if you don't have the equal minds, well, that's when ego takes over, leading to conflicts and judging others. And without right awakening, our whole spiritual practice just becomes, well, another way to get stuff in the world. We completely miss the point. You see? You absolutely need all 3 pillars. They're not optional. Okay, so to really get a handle on that first pillar, that unsurpassed mind, we need to dig into a really fundamental truth about who we are. And what's so cool is that modern science actually gives us this perfect lens to see this ancient wisdom in a new light. So just think about your own body for a second. We tend to feel like it's this solid, permanent thing, don't we? But in reality, it's in a constant, non-stop state of change. The ancient term for this is impermanence, or wuchang. Literally every single second, cells in your body are dying and new ones are being born. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is ever standing still. And this really drives that idea home. Think about it. The body you had a year ago, it's not the same body you have today. The body you had a day ago, not the same. Heck, the body you had just 1 second ago is already different from the one you have right now. It's just this constant, unstoppable river of change. So this brings up a huge, critical question. If your physical body is never ever the same from one moment to the next, and if your thoughts are always shifting around, you're happy 1 minute, sad the next, then which of these constantly changing things is the real permanent you? The answer might be a little shocking. It's none of them. So we have to learn to see the difference between 2 things. On one hand, you have the false self that we all cling to, this collection of changing cells, fleeting thoughts, and up and down emotions. That's the self rooted in ego, and it's what creates all our suffering. But on the other hand, you have your true nature. And what's that? It's the part of you that's aware of all the change. It's that pure, silent awareness that's changeless, eternal, and the real source of peace. And here's the absolute game changer, the most crucial point of all. Awakening the Bodhi mind isn't about adding something new to who you are. It's not about trying to become some different, better person. It's simply about turning your attention inward and finally observing what's been there the whole time.
This is such a powerful way to reframe everything. The practice we call awakening the mind, or faxin, is really the practice of observing the mind, or guanxin. That's it. It's the simple but incredibly profound act of taking your focus off the chaotic, changing world out there and bringing it back home to the silent, pure center of awareness deep inside you.
And this isn't some new idea. The ancient sutras tell us the exact same thing. Just listen to this from the Mahaparinirvana Sutra. Of all things in the three realms, the mind is primary. It's the root of everything. And then it says, one who can observe the mind attains ultimate liberation. Just think about that. The person who can simply watch their own mind without getting tangled up in all its stories and dramas, that's the one who finds true freedom. That right there, that's the path. Okay, so this is where it all comes together, where the rubber meets the road. Realizing our true nature isn't some passive, navel-gazing hobby. No way. It is the launchpad for a life of unbelievable courage and deep, compassionate action. This is where our real mission truly begins. Because think about it. When you truly get it, when you understand that the separate, fragile little self is just an illusion, what happens? The very root of selfishness just dissolves. And when that goes, so do the three great poisons that cause almost all the suffering in the world: fear, greed, and anger. They just lose their power over you. And in the place of those poisons, these incredible virtues just naturally start to bloom. You develop a fearless spirit. I mean, what is there to be afraid of when you're not clinging to a temporary self anymore? You find great compassion, or daibe, for every living being. You gain the ability to act selflessly with an integrity that can't be shaken. This is where true loyalty comes from, and that incredible courage to sacrifice for something so much bigger than yourself. And you know, this isn't just some personal self-help project. This is our great shared mission. Right now, in what's known as the White Sun era, our heavenly mission is to live this truth, to embody it in everything we do. And by doing that, by being that living example, we can help guide all other beings to find their own way back home. So I want to leave you with one final thought to really let sink in. Just imagine it for a minute. What amazing things could you accomplish in this world? What kind of person could you become? What would you do if you are truly 100% free from fear and from self-interest? Gratitude for the grace of heaven and the virtues of the teachers. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.